Heyo there, you wonderful yachters. Now, we are going to be giving my predictions, my score predictions for every single game of Game Week 10 in the Premier League. So, yeah, let's get right into it. Now, both these teams doing very well this season. Brentford, for me, for different reasons. Brentford, because they're exceeding expectations. Obviously, they're just coming off that 3-2 win against Liverpool. And Crystal Palace, they're just doing better than we thought, We knew they were a good team, but they're doing very well. Lost 1-0 against Arsenal in the last game, but no shame in that, obviously. I think it's going to be a good game. I think Crystal Palace worked too much for them, though. So I'm going to say a close and competitive 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. Next up is Nottingham Forest versus Manchester United. Now, Manchester United have picked up their form. Doing very well at the minute. Obviously, we just got that win against Brighton. Brighton poor defensively, but still Manchester United did pretty well. And Bournemouth being a fantastic signing, Cunha, okay, he might not be contributing much with the goals and assists, but is looking dangerous whenever he's on the ball. Nottingham Forest obviously now got Sean Dyche as manager. They won against Porto, but they did just lose to Bournemouth. But this is his first home game in the Premier League. Obviously, Sean Dyche is never going to be easy to beat. I'm going to say a 2-0 win to Manchester United, though I do think they'll have enough. Again, I think United's strand will be the other day. Well, maybe he might not want it, but he'll be getting close to that haircut. Already done my preview for Arsenal versus Burnley, so you're gonna have to check that out. It's on my channel. So we're gonna move straight on to Leeds United versus Brighton. Okay, Brighton again. As I said, poor defensively in the Manchester United game. Just lost to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup as well, but they rotated a lot of players there. Leeds got the win against West Ham as well. Big win for them. They're looking decent this season as well. They're looking like a team that's not just there to make up the numbers. It's going to be a close game. Brighton not been completely convincing this season, I don't think. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. I do fancy a 1-1 draw that game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be an entertaining watch, hopefully. But yeah, I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Fulham versus Wolves next up. Okay, so Wolves. I mean, I'm looking at their team. They've just got nothing there. I'm not going to lie. They do not look very good. My sincere apologies, Wolves fans, but I really cannot see you not staying up. Fulham, also not doing too well this season. Not doing too well. I mean, they've had a few games where they've made it difficult. They've had some close games, but they're not getting many results. Obviously, not much business from them done in the window. A few injury woes. They don't really have an out-and-out striker at the minute. But I'm sorry, I just can't back anything other than a Fulham win. Wolves just obviously they got a decent point against Tottenham, but yeah, I just can't see anything other than a Fulham win. I'm going to say a 1-0 win for Fulham. Tottenham versus Chelsea is up next. Very good game, obviously a London derby. Yeah, it's been both got their injuries coming into this. Tottenham especially, obviously Chelsea have those old injury concerns. Cole Palmer, Yevi Cole will, some of their crucial players will not be playing in this game. Now I think Maresca could be under pressure. A loss here could put him under pressure for sure. Obviously Tottenham just went out of the cup as well. I've seen a few people that Thomas Frank out already. I rate Thomas Frank. I think give him time. I think he'll turn it around. And that's coming from an Arsenal fan as well. I'm gonna say a. I'm gonna go. I'd very predict these. I'm gonna say a 0-0, and my reason being because there's always games like this where you look at that could be quite exciting, and they always end up being a letdown. So I'm gonna say a 0-0 draw. That could come back to bite me, and it could be an absolute 7-goal thriller. But no, I'm gonna say a 0-0 draw. Now up next we have Aston Villa versus Liverpool. I mean, where do I start with Liverpool? I mean, it's just not being good enough at all. They don't even look like a shadow of the team that they were last season. The loss against Brentford, conceding so early on from the young throw-in. Yeah, very very poor from Liverpool. And then whereas Aston Villa start the season off poorly, but have now picked up and also just got that big win against Manchester City as well. The 1-0 win there. So they've both had opposite starts to the season and opposite seasons so far really. No, I keep backing Liverpool to get something and turn it around because I know at some point they're going to kick and it's going to, it will turn around for them. Do I make that same mistake again here? Yes, I will make that same mistake here because I think, just when I know a lot of people have already started doubting Liverpool, but when you really start to doubt them, it always feels like, again, they turn it around. They do have those rough patches sometimes, even on the Grotpo they had it. I'm going to say a 2-1 win to Liverpool. That could come back to bite me. And, Aston Villa fans have every right to mock me if so. West Ham versus Newcastle. Now, right, I did my Premier League predictions quite recently. I think it was after game week 8. And I predicted West Ham to just stay up. Okay. And I thought, not only do I rate Nuno, but also because I think in January they'll make the signings, they'll be able to turn it around. But since then, seeing those 2 games, obviously the massive loss to Brentford and the loss against Leeds United as well, I have lost confidence in them. I do think there's potential players there. I was watching the Leeds United game the other day, and Potts dude needs to start, I think, because he actually looked quite good. He actually changed the game. Newcastle, obviously, again, as I mentioned earlier, got that win against Tottenham in the Cup. So, good result for them. They got the win against Fulham as well. They're starting to pick it up again, Newcastle. So I think West Ham are playing them at probably the worst time. I'm going to say a 2-0 win away from home for Newcastle United. Okay, and then up next we have Manchester City versus Bournemouth. Probably the game of the weekend, I would say. Man City, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, got that loss against Aston Villa. I'm hoping Bournemouth can do us a favour as well. Bournemouth, very, very, very good season. Fantastic season. Only got the 1 loss, which was to Liverpool right at the start of this campaign. Antonio Raiola doing a fantastic job. Semenyo is on fire. I don't know. It's one of those games. I think if Bournemouth were the home side, I'd probably fancy him to get something here. And I think they have been a better team. But again, Man City dropping points twice in a row. Can't see it happening. I'm going to say a 3-2 win to Man City. I think it's going to be a cracking game, but I do think Man City ultimately will get the win. Final game is Everton versus Sunderland, the David Moyes derby. Sunderland doing very, very well. Very well indeed. Especially at home. Exceeded a lot of people's expectations. A lot of people predicted them to go down. Also, Granit Xhaka being a fantastic signing. All of their signings actually have been very, very well. Done very well indeed. Everton, decent at home, poor away from home. Obviously, lost 3-0 to Tottenham. Got bullied by the set pieces and headers as well. So, not a good result for them. They do need to turn it down. They have dropped off a bit. They do need to turn it around. I'm going to say a 1-0 win to Sunderland. I do fancy him. I do fancy him to get a win here. 1-0 win to Sunderland. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you did, please consider dropping a like. It would greatly be appreciated. Make sure to leave a subscribe as well. Go on, you want to have more football content and all that good stuff. Boxing as well if you're into that. Cheeky little share as well. Go on, you want to, But yeah, hope you enjoy the football, enjoy the Premier League again this weekend, and take care.